Welcome, my friends, to the Esteban Hours Weekend Reviews Sound Off. Today's topic is about a 13-year-old Mississippi girl who apparently was not able to have an abortion. Why? Because she was pregnant. She was raped, sexually assaulted, and because of the distance of where she was able to have a legal abortion, she did not have one. We're going to get into that. But how was your day? How is your week? It's a lot has been going on this week, right? Maybe even too much going on this week. But today, we're just going to concentrate at the moment on this case, which, in my opinion, is very, very important that we spread the news as to what is going on around the country in regards to women, period, especially young women, and how they've been affected by the Supreme Court's ruling of doing away with Roe versus Wade. But before we get into that, let's bring in our panel, author and activist and co-host of the Esteban Hours Week in Review, Mr. Jeremy Baker, activist and host of the Lana Quest show, Miss Lana Quest, and host of the podcast Vita Talks, Miss Ovita Ivy. Hello,
Hi,
What's
everyone.
up,
everybody.
everybody?
Hi.
Hi.
It's about to get real. Oh my God, is it about to get
Oh,
real? Woo.
yeah.
I'm
Good
glad you guys were
evening.
able
Good
to come on
evening.
for this. I'm glad you guys are, by the way, I'm
Thank
really
you for
glad you guys are
joining us.
making
Yes,
time
I
for
am
us. And
very honored to have both of you together.
Excited.
absolutely.
Thank
Excited.
you. Yes.
All
Could
Very
right.
get
serious
dangerous.
subject.
Could get dangerous. I was trying
Yes.
to, you know.
All right, let's get into it. So we have this 13-year-old
Yeah.
who is starting
Yeah.
school, starting the new school
Yes.
year as a new mother. And why?
Yeah.
Back in the fall of 2022, she was sexually assaulted right outside of her home,
Hmm.
apparently around her backyard of some sort. Um, it
Yeah.
was 10 weeks before they even knew that she was pregnant. And by that time, of course, we know Mississippi's new anti abortion laws. You have up to 6 weeks, I believe, to have a legal abortion. The closest area to have an abortion to them was in Illinois. And it was too far, 9-hour drive, and also too expensive for the mom to be able to take her 13-year-old child for this to be done.
Yeah.
So she's a child who has a child. Let's get into it.
Yeah.
Before
Yeah.
I get
Mhm.
everybody all heated up and going here, let me play the video clip and we could kind of unpack it after this if everybody's
That's right.
okay with that. Here we go.
First reported by Time magazine this month, a girl only 13 years old gave birth after her mother said that her daughter was raped and impregnated by a stranger in Clarksdale, Mississippi last year. The girl could not get an abortion and is now a mom going into the 7th grade. The mother of the girl tried to find an abortion clinic, but the last provider in Mississippi closed last summer after the Supreme Court's decision in Dobbs versus Jackson Women's Health Clinic. That meant the closest abortion provider was in Chicago, Illinois, and that drive to Chicago would have been more than 9 hours from Clarksdale, Mississippi, and ultimately the mother decided it was too costly of a trip. Today, Mississippi, along with many of the states surrounding it, has a 6-week abortion ban with limited
Look at that real
exceptions
red
for rape or
area
if the
there.
pregnancy is life-threatening. But these
Yeah.
exceptions are rarely granted and poorly tracked.
Okay. So a lot to dissect in this. First, I want to point out this is just one example or one case
Yeah.
that is happening
Yes.
among dozens or
Yeah.
hundreds of these cases,
Yep.
and, which is why we
Yeah.
want to bring attention to this so that the country
Yeah.
knows and understands how much this is hurting our
Yeah.
people, our youth, our young ones, our women. So
Mhm.
I want to
Yeah.
pose the first question to our two ladies on the panel
Yes.
tonight. We'll start with Lana. What are your first reactions to hearing this story, amongst others that I'm sure you've heard?
Okay, so I just remembered I can't swear. So
You can swear. You just, PG-13. Just PG-13.
oh no, this is not PG-13. This is effing ridiculous. Like there's no PG-13 because this is just one case. Like this girl was 13. There was a 10-year-old rape victim that had to travel out of Ohio. There was a 13-year-old in Florida that begged an appeals court. She said, she did it on her own, did a whole appeal, begged the court to allow her to get an abortion because she wanted to stay in school, and they denied her. So this is absolutely insane and ridiculous. This poor kid, and I think Mississippi doesn't even have an exception for rape and incest. I think that's a state that doesn't
just rape. They have.
Is there an exception?
They have it for
they
rape.
do for rape, but
they have it for rape, but not incest.
It's poorly. They said it's poorly tracked and rarely granted.
They have it for rape, and if the child gonna cause you to die or something, if it's a life-threatening pregnancy, but they don't have it for anything else.
Right. And honestly, rape and incest exception is not an exception, right? Like we already know that, because if you're a child, just like this 13-year-old, you ain't telling anyone. Adults don't even tell anyone. Adults have to grapple with what just happened, what's going on. Do I say the guilt? Let alone a child is not going to tell you. By the time it's too late for all of it. Her parents didn't even know she was pregnant. She didn't say it. They took it to the doctor. Even when they knew she was, mom knew, they took it to the doctor to get checked up. She didn't say a word. Right. Like she was so traumatized at that point. Now she's re-traumatized. Kids can't have babies. She doesn't even have hips. She doesn't have birthing hips. She could die.
My thing is they just forced her to have a baby from someone that raped her. So the entire life of that child is going to be as a result of a rape. What if that kid, if that kid finds that out? Think about you're a kid. And you growing up, and then you find out you don't know who your father is, but then you find out you're a result of a rape. Jesus Christ, people! What the F?
Ovita,
it's insane.
What do you have?
What I was reading too about Ashley, she has ADHD. She was in a special needs program at school, so she never really was a child that was vocal. So this made her go mute from almost not talking. She just went mute. So she probably didn't even have the words to really say anyway because of her condition, So because at first I was like, this sounds weird. How can a baby get raped in the yard and then you don't know? What are you doing? Y'all not looking outside. I know she was 12, but still, you be looking outside a little sometimes. That's why, but I understand now why he probably was able to pull her to the side of the house and rape her and her not have the words to express what happened, So that in itself is so sad. That's so sad. It's so heart-wrenching,
Can I just say
absolutely
from
agree with
a man's point of view, this makes me so angry, angry that dude, that guy who did this. First of all, only a punk or a coward can do something like that to a 12-year-old child, let alone in her own her own neighborhood where she has a sense of security, right? And safety. It just makes me angry. I'm a father of girls. It's just
sorry.
You cannot imagine how someone can just do something like this and for pleasure
to a baby.
Yeah, and I think it's okay. I just wanted to put that out there. But the doctor who from the clinic, the Clarksdale Women's Clinic said, and I quote,
Yeah.
she just had no clue. But how
Right.
could she?
No.
She was 12 years old.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And her mother had
And she
said,
couldn't probably articulate that.
right. And I think her mother said that they didn't have that conversation about those kind of things because she felt she was still too young to have
Yeah.
that conversation with her. Like,
Right.
why do we have to
Yeah.
do that? But most importantly, right? Yes, the rape was bad, but the bigger picture is Roe is gone, and all of these Republican red states, like you introduced it, women are being hurt, children are being hurt, women are being forced to
Yes.
carry dead babies, non-viable fetuses that the skull is not developed. Like, sorry, as my
I don't feel so bad now. Thank you, Lana.
and you know what? It's no, I have it on do not disturb, but it's an emergency contact. That's why it came through with my kid.
That's cool. I'm just messing
Sorry
with you. I'm
about
sorry.
that. But yeah, it's because of them. It's like the Louisiana woman who couldn't get an abortion, who the doctors are saying the baby's not going to survive. The skull is not developed. And they told her no. Or the woman in Florida who gave birth in a hair salon because her water broke too soon. And as women know, once the water breaks, you have to have, right. But it was too soon in the pregnancy for the baby to survive outside of the womb.
That is crazy.
Sent her home, a Black woman sent her home. She said, she was on Katie Fang. She's like, I know I'm going to die. I'm going to the hair salon so my mama don't have to deal with my hair when she buries me. This is what she said because she was bleeding.
Oh my
Like
God.
she thought she was just going to die. So her and her husband went to the hair salon. She went to the bathroom because she started to feel really more sick than she already felt. And she delivered that child in the toilet at the hair salon, called her husband up and was like, I don't know what to do with it now, right? And she had asked the doctor, like, you're sending me home, so when I deliver it, what do I do? Put it in the trash? Call an ambulance? Like, what do I do with a dead fetus? And this is the things that they're not thinking about, or they just don't effing care about.
I believe that the latter. I believe the latter because I hate to make, people say we hate to make it about a race thing, but the facts are the facts. These things are happening to black and brown people. These are, I mean, how inhumane can you be to do that? Send them outside because they, because of things like that. That's I don't understand how they think that it's just inhumane how they treat people.
Yeah, but women,
because of a skin.
Yeah, but their women are suffering too, though. Them white women they sued in Texas. Them white women sued in Texas because one of the women, she can't have any more kids because they sent her home.
Yeah.
Like, bye.
So
they are.
But I mean, I know not the higher rate as we are. You're right. I'm sorry.
I think I want to talk, like Lana mentioned the bigger picture, and I think it's important that we talk about the entire hypocrisy of the pro-life movement.
Yeah.
I think it's important that we point out, they're making laws based on theology, religion. They're making laws based on the Bible and not science. And this is what happens. This is why doctors are leaving the states because they don't want to have to make a choice between I can't help you and send them home to die. Like, doctors take an oath to cause no harm. It is in the Hippocratic Oath. I will do no harm. And because people are making these ridiculous abortion laws based on their religious beliefs, it drives me nuts. They're ignoring the science. They're ignoring reality and imposing their will onto massive amounts of people. You know what I mean? Like Ron DeSantis is the dictator. He's a little mini dictator down in Florida. Look what's going on down there. It's falling apart. So I think let me play the Roland Martin video that I have. And I want to thank Roland Martin for doing this, pointing out the pro-life hypocrisy. So let me go ahead and play that real quick.
Because you think I'm saying something that I'm not.
Well, tell me what you're saying.
What I'm telling you, I'm being very clear. You cannot say you are pro-life when you vote against prenatal care for the mother. You cannot say you are pro-life when you vote against Head Start. Right. You cannot say you are pro-life when you do not want to expand Medicaid to keep hospitals open. You cannot say you are pro-life when you have OBGYNs who are not available in your state. You cannot say you are pro-life when you have black women who are dying at a higher rate during childbirth and you do nothing public policy-wise to fix it. You cannot say you are pro-life if you allow infant mortality rates to be sky high in areas where there are black and brown people. What that tells me is you are anti-abortion. You are not pro-life.
And you're not Christian.
And I'm
No.
and you're not Christian. Yes. I'm going to add to that. You cannot say you're pro-life if after the person gives birth, you no longer care.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Whatsoever
Yes.
Thank
after
you.
you put that life.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank
Yes.
you for saying that.
Yeah. Because
They
after
do
you all made her
everything-
have what provisions did you make for that baby? What provisions did you make for that young lady? Did you offer her counseling? Do she have
Right.
anything
don't
for her
care.
baby?
No.
What did you do?
They don't
Right.
care.
They're trying so hard. Like they say they're pro-life, but like you said, after the baby's born, they don't give a shit. They don't care.
Yeah.
They don't want to give it benefit. They don't even want to give that kid free school at lunch. Bullshit.
Lunch at
They
school.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You
Because
can't-
they were
don't-
saying when they
don't trust that kid.
went into the house. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I'm just saying
They were
oppressed
saying
that
when
kid
they went
after
in the
it's born.
house. Yeah, they were saying when they went in the house for the interview, they didn't see no diapers, no wipe. They didn't see any supplies laid out for their baby. They didn't see anything there for her. The baby just was laying in the car seat, and everybody just looked so sad. I mean, yeah. If you're gonna make them have it, and you know that baby can't take care of a baby, you should make provisions for that child, both the children.
And
Is that
Mississippi
so
got
hard? You know what I'm saying?
Mississippi got an issue anyway, because isn't that where Brett Favre was out there cheating welfare?
They do.
They don't, right? So Mississippi got a whole problem with putting people
They do.
on to get that money. They don't even give it to the
Yeah.
people that need that money, and that's a
Need
shame.
it.
And,
Yeah.
and like you were saying, Ovita, it does impact for sure black and brown people the most, because
Yeah.
when I read it and heard it too, I'm thinking like 9 hours, that ain't nothing. I would have driven through the night. I didn't drive
Right.
from Massachusetts to Alabama to visit my
Right.
people straight.
Yeah.
So I would have
Yeah.
took that 9 hours like a champ,
Mhm.
right? But
Yeah.
if your car is not good, if you don't have a lot
Yeah.
of money, right? You're already in
Yeah.
poverty. Like now it's just a cycle of poverty. And half of them don't
Yeah.
even have broadband, right? Because there's services now that would have helped that child get to Chicago. There's services that would have helped her do that, because there's a whole like underground network that are helping people get. But how would they know?
Yes.
Right.
And the
like-
doctor's afraid, right? The doctor is afraid of what she can tell them.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And we have to understand that. We got to understand that the doctors are afraid because they don't want to lose their
Their
life.
hands are
They don't
tied.
want to lose 10
Yeah, their hands are tied.
years of schooling.
Right.
I'm trying to help people. They would love to help people. That's
Yeah.
what they pride themselves on, but they don't.
These
want
are
rated.
I'm sorry. These are states that want to throw librarians in jail for the books that are on the shelves, and they want to throw doctors in jail for providing medical care to people that need abortions. That's the type of country we're living in right now. But again, we always say this: it goes down to the people. The people voted for this. The people voted for this,
Yeah.
whether they knew it or not.
But
They
did
bought
they?
into the bullshit during the primary, or during their
What did
running for
you
campaign.
say,
Their
Lala?
campaign.
No, I just said, well, did they? Right? Because you know what's happening in these southern states. They're gerrymandering.
Oh, the gerrymandering. I'm sorry.
So,
You're right.
So like,
You're right.
so they really don't even have a choice. Like Alabama has been ordered to redraw their maps because they've been deemed racist. They won't, still
you're
won't
right.
do it.
They haven't done it
Glad-
yet.
They haven't done it
Thank
yet. Mark
you.
Elias out here fighting like a superhuman person in all these states, filing these lawsuits to redistrict these maps so that we have a chance in 2024. These people are just, and it's not a coincidence that all of those red states that are doing this stuff are also slave states, right? Like, so, like, it's
Yeah. Well, no, hey,
Yeah.
when I say it's the people's fault, I'm talking about the white people.
Yeah.
It's their fault.
Yeah, suburban white
You know what I
women.
mean? And like you said, I'm glad you pointed that out, because there are so many districts that are drawn specifically to not give Black and brown people a chance to fairly elect someone.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
I mean, that's part of why they don't want you to be woke, because
Right.
this is the stuff we start to
Yeah.
find out. You really start to find out how corrupt and racist. This is why they don't like critical race theory. You
Right.
get to see how
Yeah.
racist everything in this
Right.
country is.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I always take an empathetic route to everything, and in this situation,
Yeah.
I just imagine the feelings of all the women that are going
Yeah.
through this, that have gone through this, and
Yeah.
might go through this in the future, of all the
Yeah.
girls, young girls and children that
Yeah.
are going through this, have gone through this,
Yeah.
and might go through this in the future, not just with sexual assault, but medical situations,
Right.
Yes.
all of that. Where is the humanity of all of this
Yeah.
within Republicans, that everything for them is only through the lens or the eyes that they see it, and they don't care about what someone else feels, not just believes, but what someone else
Yeah.
feels. So as that woman
Yeah.
is screaming that that dead fetus inside of me is killing me, I
Yeah.
may not be
Right.
alive tomorrow.
Yeah.
Does anybody feel that? Does that
Right.
break anybody's heart on the Republicans side? That's
They
what goes on in my head. It's beyond shameful that
Yeah.
Black and brown and white women are all treated like dogs.
They don't even care about their women. They don't even care about their women. But what
That's a
one quick
shame.
one
That's a
quick
damn
point.
shame.
One quick point.
But
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. I'll do my point after. Go ahead.
it is a difference when they treating the Black and the white woman, because it's a different code and information they get when a Black woman is having a baby and when a white woman is having a baby. They know the difference because of code.
Right.
And that is inhumane to me, to
Right.
learn these things, that they differentiate between y'all, excuse me, the color. How could you do that?
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
it's like,
And
it's
that's
still
true.
man-boggling.
Real quick before you
true. But when it
make
comes to the general factor, both white and Black are experiencing and feeling the same things. That fetus is bleeding out
Yeah.
of the vagina of a white
Mhm.
woman, and it's bleeding out of the vagina of a Black woman.
But
Okay?
even
Both lives could be in jeopardy.
But
It could be,
even putting
yeah.
abortion aside, real quick before Lana makes her point, putting abortion aside, it is true that Black and brown women infant mortality rates are 4 times higher
Yes.
than white women.
Yeah.
And that is because obviously they're not treated the same when it comes to
No, they go into 911 mode when the white lady come in there. They might be bleeding, but they do go into action and they do treat them. It's us that have to wait. I saw a whole thing about that, and I said, we see these things, and it's like we have to take matters into our own hands a lot of times. We
Right.
really have to educate ourselves, and a lot of time we turn a blind eye into us. That's the only thing that I don't like about us as brown and Black. We need to if we were to really take matters into our own hands to some extent, people will have to do things different. They will have to, because without our money and our resources, they can't function. Even though it's amazing to me how they say in the impoverished and poor areas, but they are making money off of them. That's why most of them are impoverished, because the rich get richer off the poor.
Right.
They get these programs like we were saying earlier, so they could get the money. They're not distributing the money the way they should. They're profiting off of poor people.
Right.
And
And
if anybody, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just going to add
Yeah.
what you're saying, and that's why individuals like yourself, like Lana, like Jeremy, and I
Yeah.
are doing these type of podcasts,
Yes.
bringing awareness
Exactly.
to the country of the things
Yeah.
that are going on in our backyards that
Yes.
we do not know or understand what's going on. Because when you turn on the TV, you don't really see, on a wide scale, you
Grand
don't see a
scale.
lot of these
Yeah.
things are going on because of all the
Yeah.
political warfare that's happening.
Yes.
Cable networks like to repeat the same damn thing 25 million times
Yes.
if there's nothing
Yeah.
else going on. But it's individuals
Yeah.
like us that we
Yeah.
should take that responsibility to raise our voices loud and to say we need to do something about this. We know that can be done at the ballot box, right?
Yes.
And so come 2024,
Yes.
Right.
everyone needs to say, hell no, we're not doing it
Right.
anymore. No
Right.
more dead fetuses in healthy women's bodies. No
Right.
more.
And I was gonna say that you're absolutely
Yes.
I forgot.
it's voting, right? Like, because I think like people, Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, our people in those states, not all of them, but like the poorer people, they don't understand government, right? They're like, well, the government's not doing anything for me. And a lot of this is your local government, right? Like Biden
Yeah.
is never gonna come knock on your door with a check. Like that's just not how that works. Like he's not, he can't give, your local welfare department like all of these funds. Like there's a process to these things, and you have to hold your local government, your governor is very important. Your
Yeah.
state department, right? They're throwing your black men in jail on little weed offenses. That's local. That has
Yes.
nothing to do with, Biden literally said,
Yeah.
hey, it's not a crime anymore. I'm releasing weed offenses on a federal level. I advise the governors to do it. What do the Republican governors do? Hell no, we ain't doing that. Right? Well,
I
we
know,
don't want
free the
Trump.
stoners, man.
We don't want Trump
Free
to go
the
to jail,
stoners.
but we ain't free. No, but my point
Right,
was just
right.
go back to the
Yeah.
fake Christians and the abortions and how we're saying like, we're shocked that they don't care. Why are we shocked?
Right.
We saw them watch kids in Connecticut, this Connecticut school with all them babies, white babies with blonde hair and blue eyes getting mowed down with assault weapons. And them people did what?
Wow.
They did. And that
Yeah.
was their fucking kids. Excuse
Yeah.
me, sorry. But
No,
it was their
hey,
kids.
it's all right.
It was their kids. And they watched
Yeah.
that. But if they could watch their little white kids in Tennessee in that school get mowed
Yeah.
down, and they didn't
They
care
care
about
about-
them lives, and they still letting new people walking around with assault rifles, and they just had that meeting yesterday
Yes.
about guns, and then the women with the signs saying, no more assault weapons or whatever, they kicked them out of the hall and kept the people with the guns inside the hall.
Yes.
They don't care about no black and brown people. We're like shit on a shoe.
No.
They
Yes.
do not care. Their
Yes.
kids are dying,
Yes.
and they care more
Yes.
about that money and that power. There is no empathy,
Yeah.
no concern, no care. They care about the gun
No.
lobby and their money. They count their stocks, they smoke their cigars. Fuck y'all.
Yes. Amen to that. Amen, Lana.
Amen.
You mentioned,
Sorry.
Lana,
Well
earlier
said.
in what
Yeah.
you just said. One of the things you mentioned is that a lot of folks, a lot of the leaders in these red states, they teach their constituents that government is not helping you or government is not doing anything for you. But we know that that's a lie, because there are a lot of impoverished Americans that are in these red states that would not be alive or would be hungry if it wasn't for the governmental agencies, right, and the laws passed to help them. For example, like the $1,400 stipend that everyone got back in 2020. Okay, food stamps. These are things, the infrastructure bill. These are things that the Republicans are voting against, and they're saying no to, but they are helping their own people. So now the problem is, why do these people why are they not hearing this, or why don't they know this?
Right.
Why do they only believe that their own Republican legislation or local government are the ones that are doing for them and not the others? And that's what's sad.
Wow. Yeah.
It
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
is.
Nope.
Go ahead.
And I was thinking out there when we look at the healthcare system, how they taken away. Like I wonder why, because they, turned abortion over. What does that have to do with even the healthcare of people? It's other things that they need besides that. What about just regular other serious situations? Why everyone have to suffer just because of that, just because that was overturned?
Right.
Just the overall healthcare system there, they have to travel miles to get even healthcare. Like, who is over this? Where is the money going? People need to hold these people. Someone needs to go in there and investigate and see what they get. You're not gonna tell me they don't get any kind of funds for anything. Where is it going?
Yeah,
Right.
Where is it going?
infrastructure. They got COVID money.
Yeah.
They got infrastructure money. You know what they're doing? Let me tell you what they're doing, Ovita. I'll tell you what they're doing. They building prisons. That's what they're
Yeah,
doing.
True.
right.
That's what
And
kids-
lining
And study
their
hospitals.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're lining their pockets.
Building
Lining their
prisons and
pockets.
study
Right, right.
hospitals.
Private
Yeah.
prisons, so they get the kickbacks and lining their pockets.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right.
That's
I can't
crazy.
understand for the life
All
of
the
me.
doctors are quitting.
Yeah.
I'm showing
I
a
can't
comment real
understand.
quick. Do you know who this is? But they just,
Facts. That's right.
Absolutely.
Thank
they
you,
like what we're
Shudiva.
saying. So.
Yes, Miss Adele Shudiva. Facts. Thank you. Absolutely. Yes. And one thing that I cannot understand is when it comes to this abortion thing, I understand what the Christians believe and feel. I get it.
Yeah.
I don't
I'm a
get
Christian. Yeah.
that if I don't believe what you believe, why the hell can I
Exactly.
not have an abortion if I don't want to? Why do I
Right.
have to
Yeah.
go along your religion, your style,
Exactly.
your beliefs?
Yeah.
I'm not sitting up in your church. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
doing the things that you're doing. I might be doing my own religious things.
Right.
Why do I
Yes.
have to conform my life to
Yeah.
what your beliefs are? Over 300 million people in this
Yeah.
country. That is
Yeah.
what I just don't understand. Under the pretense of pro-life, when
Mhm.
Roland
Yeah.
Martin put it clearly, you cannot be pro-life in one area and in 10 other areas
Yeah.
you're not.
They vote
Yeah, I
against
wanted
the
to
pump
point out-
act. Like, what? They don't even want
Yep.
women to pump in
Yeah.
at work. Like, what's wrong
Yeah.
with
You know what I
them?
mean? I
Yeah.
just want to clarify
And to
earlier.
say
I'm
to
not
your-
knocking. Oh, I was gonna say I wasn't knocking Christianity earlier. I just don't think making laws based on the Bible is,
No.
especially when it comes to healthcare.
The
And
Bible is not
Yeah.
supposed to have
That's
anything
science.
to do with
That's
politics.
not Bible.
Right.
That's not. You
It
know what I
even
mean?
says that in the Bible. Do
Separation.
not mix church and
Yeah.
state.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
And government.
So I mean,
Right.
And to say that,
the science. If they're
Oh,
not
I'm sorry.
following
I
the
don't want-
science and the medical information, then they're wrong. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're flat out wrong.
Yeah.
So go ahead, Ovita. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Sometimes it be a little delay, so I don't.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's after. But I've been raised a Christian all my life, and even in the Bible, He gives us choices. He give you a choice whether you want to be a Christian or not. So how are you imposing your choice on people? Even God don't want you. And He say, "I'd rather have you." Even Him, He say, "Decide to be with me or decide to be with the devil." I mean, if you believe, just to give an example,
Right.
He gives us all decisions. So why you as a man think you can make a decision for everybody in their body or what they believe? So even with that, that's where the hypocrisy come in. And most of the time, people doing all this, they doing everything behind closed doors. They're not really following scriptures. They probably don't even study the Bible. They probably don't even do anything concerning the
Tell
Bible.
them.
They
Tell
just
it.
We're
Tell it.
yeah. So because if they did, I think they'll have if you did, because God loves us all, you would show love to people. We wouldn't even have to. The greatest things in the Bible, He said that we have is love. How is it love when you allowing people to die? When you allow people to be
Exactly.
violated and you let them suffer because of that? That's not even the principle in the Bible. These
Right.
are people that they hearing what they getting it from back in the day, but they themselves are not practicing it. They just, remember what what their forefather says, but they're not doing it.
And
they're not doing it.
Their forefathers didn't do it.
They're not doing it
because the Christians of back in the day raped, stole,
yes, they did.
Pillaged,
yes,
and they kept us in slavery under the guise of Christianity because none of them were Christians.
This
Martin
is
Taylor
Christian nationalism.
Exactly.
Go
ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say there's a difference between Christian nationalism. This is what we're dealing with. Christian nationalism is a whole different ballgame than Christianity. Christianity, I think, is a beautiful thing. I think faith is a beautiful thing. Personally, I'm a deist. You know what I mean? I believe in God, but I don't believe in religion. But I'm not going to go around saying, you're dumb for believing in that. That's not how America's supposed to be.
And Ovita mentioned that a lot of these, rules and regulations have been put in place by a bunch of men, right? But that's not entirely true anymore, is it? Because you've got women
no, it's not.
On the Republican side that are siding with the men and are okay with dead fetuses living within, a female's body, which is shameful.
It is.
And then you got more.
Who know what it feels like to go through their body anatomy, right? They know what it is.
I've been there.
They know what it is to have a period. They know what menopause and menstrual pain is like, but they still stand by their Republican Party rather than their females, their sister. I don't understand.
I've been there where I had a baby. Unfortunately, I'm sorry. No, you go ahead, Jeremy. I'm sorry.
Thank you. They go around telling people that
I don't
people
want to
are
cut
having
you off.
abortions at 9 months. 9 months they're telling people that people. That's not happening.
There are some people that actually believe that. Who the hell is having an abortion? You know what an abortion at 9 months is?
Childbirth.
Murder.
Delivery.
Murder.
Some places did extend the months of when you could have a baby. It used to be 3. I think it's a few more because I've actually seen them, y'all. I couldn't believe it. This baby that they aborted, that's the only thing they aborted was big. It was a big baby, and they cut this baby neck off with some look like shears. I was devastated, and they just threw the body in a bucket. I understand the gruesomeness of it.
I don't think that happens.
Yeah, that was they actually. I hope they did because I've seen it.
I think that was a big controversy back in the day. They used to call it partial birth abortions, which they don't.
It was crazy.
That process is banned anymore. That was brutal.
I really believe that's happening.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely not.
But it used to.
Crazy.
That was the process. They would go in and they would actually take and cut out parts of the baby to get it out.
Right.
But that doesn't happen.
I've seen the video.
To be brutal.
Yeah.
They considered it to be brutal.
Oh, it was absolutely inhumane. I don't understand how they could do that. But I was saying that I had a baby, that passed inside of me, and I'm so happy that, unfortunately, that I'm so happy I wasn't in any of those states, because at the time I was in a mental state is that my baby is still here, because I knew something was wrong with my baby. I had a feeling. And so I went to the doctor. I just woke. I said, something is going on. It's something about that motherly instinct. And so I went to the ER, and it was a little hard time finding her heartbeat, but they did. So I seen her kicking and moving. I was like, okay. And when I went to the doctor the next day, which my appointment, they was like, the baby is gone. And in my mouth, I said, no, because I feel my baby moving. I just seen her on the monitor yesterday. So it took me a little minute but I'm saying if I had to, I did, after I seen parts of the bag come out, in urination, I said, okay, Ovita, this is really happening, And my man, I came back. And so just to think, if I had to endure that for 9 months, my system is beginning to be poisoned. All of the waste, and stuff. Yeah. So I was, not feeling the best. If I had to wait some more months for that to be inside of me, a rotting fetus, in the bag. That's crazy.
That is
That's
not
crazy.
pro-life.
I just
It's
think
not
about that
pro-life.
me.
It's
Yes.
Can I
not
just say
pro-life.
real
For neither
So we're
person.
we're
Right.
trying to save a fetus that's obviously dead, but we're gonna kill the mother in the middle of it.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
not
Yes.
pro-life.
Or render her
Hey.
not able to have any more children.
No
I
children.
just wanted to
Yes.
say
It's
real quick
crazy.
to Avita, thank you for sharing that. That was actually a
Yeah.
pretty personal story.
Thank you.
That's not something
Yeah.
you just share lightly. So I appreciate you sharing that on
No,
the show.
it was, yeah. Thank you.
But
It took me
imagine,
years
No,
not
you,
to cry about it.
but
So
Yeah.
I mean,
let's
that's traumatizing though. Like they don't even consider
Yeah.
the trauma that women go
Yeah.
through.
imagine
You
a
just
gro-
lost
Yeah.
imagine,
your baby. You're
but
trying to create another you, and they don't
right.
give a shit.
Yeah.
It's awful. It's awful. It's brutal. It's inhumane, and it's got to stop. And it's got
Yeah.
to stop in 2024.
let's
Unfortunately, until then, we're
Yeah.
probably gonna have to do all this shit.
all right, guys. Let's read some of
Man.
these comments. We got quite a few coming in. First of all, Lana.
Awesome.
Paul Sizzler the second says hello, and it's great
Who?
to see you, Paul.
Hey, Paul.
And Z Show Diva Adele has a question. She wants to know why. Oh, I forget that we could do that. There we
Oh,
go.
cool.
That's what you have
Why
me for,
do-
brother. That's what you have me for.
You're right. You're right. Why do religion has to do with a person's body?
Exactly.
And she-
Why?
Exactly.
So
Absolutely.
that's the question.
Absolutely.
Them
That is the
people,
question.
they remember Herschel Walker. No. It was Dr. Who was the other crazy salesman? Doctor that was running.
Divorce.
Dr. Oz. He
Oh,
said
yeah.
that the decision is between the mother, her mate,
Yes.
and the local politician.
Yes. Get
In
the
the-
hell out of here.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
Right.
So-
Yeah,
so
I
we
like
got
this comment
Herschel
right here.
Walker or Mitch McConnell, Lindsey Graham in the GYN office with us while the doctor is examining us. Like,
Yeah.
what is this?
I
This
wish my
person has a
local
good point.
representative would
Jennifer.
tell me and my wife, I'll meet you at your doctor's
Is it?
office. You
Imagine.
done lost your damn mind.
Right.
Wanted to put this comment up there
Yeah.
because this pretty much sums up what we're talking about. The women, the Republicans, they are all
Yeah.
voting against their own interests.
Yeah,
Thank
I
you,
think that's a
Jennifer.
valid
That is absolutely
comment
true.
there.
Yes.
they
Yeah,
really
Thank you
do.
for
Yeah.
that.
Yes. Yes.
And I
No,
think people read the scriptures. Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
hold that thought.
Oh,
one second.
I
No,
think
I'm
they
sorry.
read a. Okay.
Finish this. Just finish this.
Yes.
Norbertina, she responded that that's so sad. I believe that she
Yeah.
responded to your story, Ovita.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Now go ahead.
Thank you. I just think some people just misinterpret scriptures all the time and want to put it, they want to use it for manipulation purposes. It's not really used for what it is. That's why people have to learn to study for yourselves. The words out there, you can get books, dictionaries. I do all that to get a good understanding of yourself. These people are not, He is for the people. If you believe in Jesus, that's why he died. You know, everybody don't. But every religion has someone that made some type of sacrifice, you know, for the greater of the people. It's not about, it wasn't never about them. And these people are making it about them. That's what make it hypocritical. It's not really for the people. We are not here for people, but we are here for people. We are not here for ourselves, but we are here for the betterment of humanity. And that's what they are not doing, is really greed and evilness behind all these things. That's what it is. God not even behind none of this stuff. It's all about greed.
Yes.
None of it.
Money, greed, power. That's what it is. Power. These people are power tripping.
Yeah.
I say a
Capitalism,
lot
money,
when I
greed,
get into
power.
conversations with friends of mine. I say a lot, you know, God doesn't care about anything we're going through. We are ant. We are merely dust to the Lord. He doesn't care about politics and all of this nonsense, this man-made nonsense on earth. So to hear Republicans say, well, pray to God that Trump wins. What?
Right.
That's what I say. That's the last thing I'm going to say. If God, do you honestly think God would support Donald Trump?
Right.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here. All right. I'm sorry. I had to say it. Come on. Stop playing.
Okay.
Yeah,
So we
Yeah.
have another comment
Well,
here
I.
from Miss
Oh,
Angela
okay.
Williams. She says hello. Hey,
Hi,
Angela.
Angela.
Hello.
Thank you for
Thanks for
tuning in.
watching.
Thank you for tuning in. We have Mr. Donnie Lewis. Hey, Donnie.
Hey.
We
Hey,
all know who
Mr. Donnie
Lewis is.
Lewis.
He agrees with the panel. He agrees with the panel. Thank you, Donnie. Okay, so
Oh, here's
this
a good one.
great conversation.
That's
The Bible their own way.
We got another
Knowledge and the
comment.
understanding.
You
Yeah.
understand? Wow. I like this person.
Everyone interprets the Bible in their own
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
God says to get knowledge and understanding for yourself.
Yes.
How
Yes.
are you to know if God is speaking to you if you don't understand his words yourself? Everybody, give Miss Adele a round of applause.
Yes, thank you for that.
She's been making great comments all evening.
Yeah.
You've been on fire.
Yes. So
Right?
sis.
Stealing
She's
the
been on
show.
fire.
I'm supposed to be there.
Here's another one from Donnie. He says, faith without workers.
Yes.
Dead. Yes.
Yeah.
Works.
Hey,
Faith
you know.
without works is dead.
And
Yeah.
know,
And
oh, go ahead.
Oh, that was one more.
he
Excuse
said,
me.
yes, I do
Yes, I do
believe
believe God.
God.
Oh, don't play with me.
Thank you, Donnie.
And if I could say something about what you said, Esteban,
Yes,
if I
ma'am.
could say something about what you said about God. Now, even in the Bible said God cares for us, but I don't believe he cares for our evil antics. You know, because it says if you lay all your cares upon him, he will carry them for you. I believe those are life things. Like some of us has been through very hurtful things in our lives, and God wants us to be healed, happy, and whole. He cares about you as a human being, but he does not care. That's why he put us in places like this, so we as people can care for others. You know what I mean? When you have shows like this and we have caring hearts, that's his way of showing that he cares for us, but he does not care for the evil antics of humans. No. He wants us to care. He said, care for the poor. He said, take care of the widowed. That's what true religion is, caring for the motherless, caring for the poor. It's in the Bible. I got that stuff written down. I don't remember it about me, but if you look in there, that's what true religion is. It's not what you have on. It's not you making these rules that don't help anybody but you and your pockets. He does not care for the evil antics of people, and people think they get away. I feel like what you put out, you get back. What you put out, you give. These people making these laws, they never know what's going to happen in their family. You never know.
Right.
Thank you.
That's right. And in fact, until they experience something personal or one-on-one,
Yes,
they don't understand. They don't.
Right.
they don't. They don't.
Right.
No.
All right.
Well, this is definitely an ongoing conversation,
Yes.
right? We will
Yeah.
continue to have. We will continue to have more conversations and more episodes
Yeah.
that have to do with the case of abortion or anti-abortion.
Yeah.
And
It's a lot.
It's
Yeah.
definitely a lot to take in, and also
Yes.
to feel. Again, every time you hear
Yes.
another story happening, your
Yeah.
heart breaks. I know mine does.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Okay, last thoughts, everyone. First, I'll give it to Ovita, and then Lana. Your last thoughts.
Well, my heart goes out to people in Mississippi, women, and that's going through these situations. Hopefully, sending out, doing things like this, that someone that can help and has a heart. My prayer is that people's heart be stirred up for each other. You know, that you really care about life and not money. So hopefully doing things like this, even on my platform, more wherever I am, I would love to do more awareness about us. So hopefully some kind of movement can start from shows like this.
Yes.
So that's
what
my
we're hoping,
hope and my
actually.
prayer.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I always say there
Yeah.
needs to be another civil rights movement where everybody fights for true
Yeah.
equality. I still
Yes.
think the Alabama brawl was the kickoff for that. I think that was the catalyst. That started it all. That was it. I've
When
been
the
waiting
chair-
for a moment, y'all. I've been waiting for a moment where people fight back. Alabama.
All the chairs from Walmart are sold out. All the Walmart
Yo,
chairs.
I got a folding
They
chair
don't
on
want
the
no
other side of my
civil. They
room right
do
now.
not
I'll
want
show
no.
it to you.
They think they want a civil war. What's it gonna be? 30%
Yes,
of,
no,
like,
right.
Racist against everybody else. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
everybody
No.
else.
By
Like,
about
Everybody
5-1,
else.
man.
Brooklyn alone could jack all the racists up. Like, stop playing.
Yes.
You're right. You're
Yeah.
right about that, sister. You're definitely right
That's what I'm
about
saying.
that.
They think they're the only ones with assault rifles. They think,
Right.
like, what's
No.
wrong with them?
But isn't that
Yeah.
how they lost the first the Civil War? Because
Exactly.
it was them against the rest of the country.
Yeah.
Stupid. They didn't think it out, did they? Just stupid.
All right,
Yes.
Lana's turn.
Most of
for
the time
last
they-
thoughts.
Yeah.
Your final thoughts, Lana?
Ovita did a wonderful job of like bringing the
Oh.
prayer and all of that.
Yes.
I'm going to take the
Thank
other
you.
directive and I'm going to say vote. Get educated, because
Oh,
let's
yes.
really be real. Nothing is ever going
Yeah.
to change unless we start voting in
That's right.
numbers, understand how government
I
works.
agree.
Everybody wants
Yes.
reparations. Well, how you think they're going to come, right? Like, you got to vote for the people
How?
who are going to work. for you.
Exactly.
You got two
Right.
goddamn parties,
Yes.
right? Not both
Yes.
equal. We just outlined
Yes.
one party is voting against all of your best interests, and then you have one party
Yes.
that's literally. Why do we think there's a maternity leave? Why do we think there's a pump act and the hearing aid act? Like, all
Yes.
the
Mhm.
lower prices for insulin.
Yeah.
One party is doing that thing, and it's the Democratic
Yeah.
Party. I don't care if you don't like
Yes.
Biden. You better vote for him. You better vote blue, because if you do
Yeah.
not, Roe is going to be national. It is not going to be just a
Yes.
red state that's banning books, that's
Yeah.
banning abortions. It's gonna be a national thing if Donald Trump
Oh
or
God.
Ron DeSantis
And
or
people
Tim
need to-
Scott or any of them. So
Yeah.
it's a
People need to
You're
remember
right.
that
yeah.
not voting is the same as voting for the Republican Party.
Yeah.
Yes. Tell them that.
Sitting at
it's
home and
hard.
not voting, even if you don't like Biden, if you don't vote for
Gotta
Biden,
like
Yes.
him. Gotta
it's
like him.
basically just handing over votes
I
to the
never did.
competition.
Yeah, you don't.
Yeah.
You don't.
I never did.
Yeah, you don't have to like him, but his administration is actually they're doing
Yes.
stuff.
I mean-
Like, you just don't hear about it. But
Yeah.
I mean, it's
doing
democracy versus dictatorship.
Yeah.
Pick one.
big
Yes.
one.
Yeah.
I mean, we're in
Yes.
a recession right now. There's a reason for that.
That's right.
If
Yeah.
Trump was
Yeah.
president right now, coming off of that pandemic, we'd all be in trouble.
Yeah.
Is that your final thoughts, Jeremy?
Yeah, I'm good, man. This was supposed to be a 20-minute episode. So it's 53 minutes. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm good. I got it all out.
Really?
Take us
It's been
out,
great.
Esteban.
Let's show the last comment. And this is from Novatino.
Ooh.
I pray for all of us women. Our bodies go
Thank
through
you.
so much during childbirth. It's
Yeah.
enough
Yes.
carrying and losing a baby and to be alone.
And to be alone. Damn.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, that's-
absolutely
Thank
right.
you for
Thank you,
posting that.
Novatina. We appreciate your comments. Shudiva, Donnie, Paul, Angela, thank you, everyone. Jennifer, thank you, everyone, for your comments. Okay, my final comments. This is definitely a sensitive topic, right? A sensitive topic for everyone on both sides. Also a topic that could turn to a little anger, right? On both sides. But where do we meet in the middle? And for me, in my opinion, when I'm watching that woman crying out of pain, or reading that she's been bleeding profusely, that's where I draw the line. Now, I don't believe in abortions, right? Meaning, for my family, if my wife and I got pregnant and we weren't ready to have an abortion, I guess we're gonna go through with it because we don't believe in abortions. But what my belief is should not have any effect over what my sister's belief is, my cousin's belief, my neighbors, my colleagues, my next door neighbors believe. To each their own. I'm a breathing person that breathes equally as everyone else, and my decision should only matter or be enforced within my family and in my my home, okay, my woods, so to speak. We hope as the time goes on that more and more people realize that and understand that a woman's right to choose is their right. We do not need more 13-year-olds and 10-year-olds having babies and becoming mothers. And if the Republican Party this continues to feel that that is the best thing to do and of the best interest of them, then they should start supporting their children as well and lend all of the support and help that they need for that child, because a 13-year-old cannot, is impossible for a 13-year-old to be a mother all on their own. Okay. Now, when it comes to the biblical and religious side, religion has nothing to do with politics, or should have nothing to do with politics. And all of the folks that continuously bring religion into their political views, excuse me, all I have to do is say, shame on you, because every religious person who says they read their Bible and they've read their Bible, they know what the Bible says. And the Bible says, do not mix church with state. Okay, the politics is a man-made thing. We deal with that on our own, and we give glory to God, whomever God you serve. Okay. And also, I want to point out with what Miss Lana Quest has mentioned, vote, 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 vote. Not just for 2024, but also this election year as well, for 2023, because we are trying to make it known for everyone to understand the local races matter too. Okay, your city council, your assemblyman, your senate, with all within your own state, all of those races matter as well. Not just the presidency, the senate races, the governors, mayors, not just those. Okay, no, I think I mentioned student council, excuse me, city council, which could be student council. Okay, we hope that this was some food for thought for everyone. Pass the word to vote, 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 and continue to have empathy and sympathy for your fellow brothers and sisters, especially the women out there that are going through far too much that they shouldn't be going through. With that said, I wish everyone a good evening and enjoy the rest of the week. If you have a goal or an achievement that you've accomplished today, don't forget to say to yourself, this is how we do.